This is the most ordinary Spider-Man film they have ever made. Nothing in it will surprise you. Nothing in it is new. I sat through the whole thing knowing exactly what was coming next. Go and see it. Spider-Man, brand new day. 6 weeks ago, I stamped this film without watching a single frame of it. 2 trailers. That was all I had. Last night, I finally sat down in front of it. So, was I right, or have I been selling you something? 3 things before we go. I saw it in 3D, and that matters more than usual. I'll come back to it. There are no spoilers in here. None. And 6 weeks ago, I made you a promise on camera. I'm settling it before the end of this video. Here's the ordinary part. The man directing this was handed Avengers. The actual Avengers. He walked away from it. Amy Pascal's team then begged him, her word, to come and make the small one instead. He did. And small turned out to mean familiar. Hero, villain, city, fight. The shape is the shape. Even the new thing isn't new. His powers change, he goes strange around the people he loves. We watched that 20 years ago with a black suit on. 2 hours, 25 minutes. You feel every one of them. It drags. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but I was never bored. Not once. Dragging and boring are 2 different crimes. Now the loudest fear before this released. That it was a shop window. A Spider-Man film that keeps stopping so other franchises can wave at the camera. It isn't. The Hulk turns up and stays out of the way. Punisher turns up and stays out of the way. Nobody hijacks this movie. It is Peter's, first frame to last. The biggest complaint of the entire pre-release cycle was a fear about a film that nobody had watched. The mystery character. I now know who she is, what she does, and where she came from. I'm telling you none of it. Not the name, not a hint. Not the version where I say I know and let the comments do it for me. Sony held that secret for 9 months. I can hold it for 1 video. So why am I telling you to go? 4 years. He asked the world to forget him, and the world did it. He gave up MJ. He gave up Ned. And this film makes you sit inside what that actually costs. 1 ordinary day after another. Not a fight, not a twist. A man who turned himself into a stranger to the only 2 people who ever loved him, and now has to stand there and watch them be perfectly fine without him. That is not a comic book problem. Most of you have a version of that sitting in your phone right now. 1 number before the verdict, 90%. Homecoming, 92. Far From Home, 91. No Way Home, 93. Lowest of the 4. Not a collapse. A rounding error. But nobody's posting that version because slightly below average for its own franchise doesn't trend. 90% is a temperature. It is not a verdict. Mine is. Worth it, not cinema. This isn't essential, and I'm not going to pretend it is. Nothing here changes what you think a Spider-Man film can do. But it's worth your money, and it's worth your evening, and it earns both with the quietest thing in it, and the promise. 6 weeks ago, I told you that if this handed 5 villains, 5 origin stories, I'd eat the stamp on camera. There aren't 5 villains. There's 1. So I'm not eating anything tonight. But you heard me make it, and now you've heard me settle it. Book 3D, not 2D. No IMAX this cycle. Nolan still got those screens. So 3D is where your extra money actually goes. The swinging, the city from above, looking straight down between the buildings. I said Sunday. This came early. Best objection anybody left under the hype check gets answered on camera. Bring it. Same stamp, same tax.